We were climbing up the highest part of the Chernobyl zone. I was carrying a flag on my back, which sometimes scraped the rails of the stairs. The banner was red, but it had nothing to do with the ideology. At that time, we didn't know any other banners except red. We were dragging it at the top in the honor and for the memory of those who had finished today this inhumanely difficult and deadly dangerous work. People said that it was our common great victory. Perhaps yes. However, for me, it will remain the aggregate of separate, personal, and individual victories. There were 3,823 of them. This number I will retain in my memory for the rest of my life.
Puzzling reports of high radiation came in from all over Scandinavia. The civilian plant in question is in the Ukraine. It's something of a showcase facility, featured here in Soviet Life magazine, which extolled its safety record. It's near the city of Kiev, population 2.5 million, and about 1,000
Поднимай над состав. Поднимаю, начальника поднял. Так, всех весь офицерский состав, офицерский корпус поднимай.
Леонид Алексеевич, алло, Припять, 3 и 4 блок горит крыша в результате аварии взрыва.
Угнево, давай. Так уже подтвердили?
Не подтвердили, авария это произошла у них. Это диспетчер Припяти сказала. Пожарная правда. Алло, Иванков. Да. Значит, вы выезжаете в Припять? Алло. Да, я слышу. На атомную станцию выезжаете. Там 3-4 блок горит крыша. Алло, Полесская? Да. Вы, значит, выезжаете на атомную станцию, там горит крыша 3-4 блока.
The experiment which the Russians hoped to carry out should have been no more than a one-off, tried just once as the reactor shut down and lasting about 45 seconds. But in case it didn't work first time, it was decided to keep the reactor working at a reduced level. The operators planned to reduce the level from 3,200 megawatts to around 700 megawatts and keep it there so that they could repeat the experiment if necessary. Unfortunately, the operator in charge failed to set the controller, the thermostat if you like, at 700 and the level dropped to 30. This set the scene for disaster. It's forbidden to operate an RBMK at lower than 700 megawatts because the design limitations make the reactor unstable and potentially dangerous at a lower power level. Determined to press ahead with their experiment, the men in the control room sought to bring the reactor back up to power again, but it was very difficult. They got the heat output back up to 200, but couldn't get it higher. Even to get that far, they had to switch off vital safety systems and deliberately withdraw many of the control rods. Control rods are designed to descend automatically into the reactor core to shut down the nuclear reaction in the event of a fault developing. Fortunately, prior to the accident, the operators at Chernobyl withdrew too many rods, and they withdrew them too far, in fact, beyond the design limits. Unlike in British reactors, they were unable to insert them again fast enough when things started to go wildly wrong. The RBM K1000 was not a reactor designed to cope automatically with operator error.